Is
that when we have a Christmas party?
No, that's the first.
Okay, I call to order the Board of Assessors meeting at 10:14.
And it's gonna be
Pledge of
recorded and
Yeah,
all
pledge
that
of
stuff.
allegiance. Right, sorry. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
the United States of America
and
to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attendance,
whoever's not here, say aye.
aye.
Okay.
Old business, none.
Yeah, crazy.
New
Oh,
business, sign invoices.
Okay.
Ready?
I brought some pens.
Yeah, I brought a couple too, because
I got a pen.
now. It's just WB Mason. Unfortunately,
Move that we sign the bill for WB Mason in the amount of $27.76.
Is that the whole warrant?
that is
The whole bill.
Yeah.
$27.
Oh, second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Sure, this is, it's not.
And both bills? eh?
Yes, please. That's one of the-
More invoices.
No more invoices.
So next item is sign motor vehicle abatements.
All right, we have three. We have one for 20, 21, and 22 abatements. Motor vehicle.
Stephanie, can I have a sheet of paper? I'll take some notes, but when I get the minutes, I can. That's what I use my agenda for.
I know, me too.
I move that we sign the motor vehicle abatements, 2020 in the amount of $84, 2021 in the amount of $109.90, and 2022 in the amount of $4,439.67.
Second,
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nice pen, Bill.
Thank you.
Yeah, where's the ink? It's but dipping it in the ink.
No, it's not that old. I have one of those though.
Do you really?
They come out the best.
Must be worth some dough.
No,
No?
they can be. They can be. This here is probably like $60 or something like that.
Oh, it's not.
That's a nice pen.
Is it Mont Blanc, the one that cuts the arm and the leg?
Some of these pens literally cost thousands of dollars. Like, why would somebody spend that kind of money on a pen? I don't know. But the ones that you dip have more flexible nibs. So you can do more calligraphy type.
Yeah.
You get the thin lines and thick lines. This one will do it a little bit, but not much. Next item, sign payroll.
Nothing,
Sign chapter land lease.
nothing.
Warrant commitment for motor vehicle commitment 6.
Yep. So the
You should
department.
slide that over to him. He's-
No, that's fine. Go ahead, Bill. No, that's fine. Right between you two.
So there's two, there's a warrant and a commitment, and then the page showing it is connected. So this is the registry billing out the next batch of motor vehicle excise.
Okay.
They do sometimes like 7 or 8. We might even get a commitment number 9 or 8 in January. So it all depends how they.
This is just our regular
Yep.
motor vehicle tax.
Yeah.
What is these itemized?
That's each vehicle that's getting a tax bill. There's 300, there's only one page, there's 319 or whatever that is.
So, so you just printed out the 30-second.
Yeah, it's just the end, you can see the dollar amount.
Okay, I move that we sign the warrant and notice of commitment in the amount for motor vehicle taxes in the amount of $20,626. $20,626.20.
Second.
Motion made in second. Any discussion? In favor?
Aye. I think the next thing on there is.
Discuss upcoming classification.
Yeah, greasy hand. So, this is each of you. It's tonight's agenda, the selectmen's agenda.
Is 3 copies of the
Yes.
same?
Yeah, yeah. So 6 o'clock. Is so the districts are before. The 6 o'clock. Attached is the spreadsheet showing the values in each class, the residential, commercial, industrial, property and totals. So the percentage for each. And then these are the factors in. So the 20,556,387 is our levy. So that is factored into all these shifts. So the shifts determine how much each class is gonna pay. So also is a spreadsheet showing what we have done in the past with the shift. The average home is times the rate to get the taxes. And also the scenarios for this year with the shift. And then further.
Can you
Yep.
explain to me what is the
Okay,
down? I understand the for us, what's the down?
so this is showing a 1.66 split, 1.65, 1.6, and 1.5.
What did we actually do in fiscal year?
This is what
22?
we did.
So-
No, I'm sorry, we did, this next thing, presentation tells you, we
All
did
right.
166 the last 2 years and 165 the 5 previous years. So, I gave the 66, the 65, and then there's 2 other ones there. So
So this is saying like a what if? on
This is what-
2022?
this is what, yeah, it's just showing
But we actually did
did the
once the first one.
yes.
Okay. You guys get that?
So, and then it shows what the difference is, between the 2 rates and then what the taxes, the increase, the taxes will be. On the average home. For each shift. So this is the information that, the selectmen received yesterday.
Right.
But,
So these are the 3 options.
but these here are not showing, when you look at the change,
Mhm.
it's showing a change between a 1.6 and a 1.6, which is not what we did. What we
Right,
did was
I mean, I could have,
1.66.
right, this is what we did, but this, I mean, I guess I could have just crisscrossed that all out and say this is what it was.
What I'm saying is that I think that the selectmen are probably gonna look at this, because this is what I would do. Is you're gonna look at the right column and they're gonna say, the increase, 286, 287, and they're gonna say, oh, these, like I just did, oh, these are pretty much all the same. But they're not pretty much all the same because we're comparing like a 1.5 to 1.5 here.
Mhm.
You see what I'm
So what
saying?
else can you
Not,
compare?
I would compare the 1.5 to the 1.66 because that's what it was.
Okay.
And I would also suggest going in the opposite direction, not just 1.66 is what we did last year. What if it was 167 or 170 or something like that? Because I think that pulls in the other direction, correct?
Well, we did yeah, I guess we could do that too. Yeah. Well, I can. This has already been
Well, they've already looked at it.
kind of handed out. I mean, I can go back and,
Explain that, but
Well, that's what I'm
Look at
saying.
it.
We would need,
Yeah.
we're going to be asked those questions, I think. So I think we should need to be prepared,
all right.
even if it's just for us.
Right.
I'm not sure I follow you, Bill. I just want to make sure I do. So say that again.
So this spreadsheet here,
Yeah, you got
Looking at the
23
same-
on the left and 22 on the right.
Yeah.
correct, but what she did was she did the different splits, 166, 165, 160, blah, blah, right? And then that's for 2023.
I
On
see it.
2022,
The split.
right,
Okay,
I see on 2022, which is in the past,
which was
he
last
put
year.
down
Yeah.
166, 165, 160.
The same.
These other
splits.
numbers never happened.
Right, only the 166 is what we
She's saying,
used.
so this number over here of the change is fundamentally just the difference in our values.
All right, show me what you're talking about.
What I'm saying is here,
Yeah.
1.6, this is what we actually did.
This is what we
Yes.
did.
Yep, the
This
166.
whole thing all the way down.
No,
No.
just the
Oh, I see.
Just the
166.
top one.
Just-
These three are what ifs.
Okay, recommendations,
They never
right, okay.
happened.
Those are
So-
recommendations based on what we did last year, correct?
Those are the,
This is what we did last year.
This is what we actually, that's what the selectmen voted on.
Correct.
yes.
So what I'm
So
saying is
he's
that
saying,
if
why have the rest of these when this is the real
this is the real
scenario?
number, they're gonna
Okay.
wanna know if I choose 165.
What's the
what is
difference between this and this?
we actually
To get
did
there instead of,
versus this means nothing.
Right,
So these numbers over here are all this versus this equals that. And they all come out to pretty much the same number. See what I'm saying?
yeah,
And what they're gonna wanna look at is more of what is this compared to this? What is that compared to this? What is that compared? So if I
Yeah.
choose
so
one.
you're saying eliminate these.
Correct.
Can I do that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I could do it on mine.
And instead, we should be just cross-referencing these numbers.
I see. So this one carried down in each column.
Correct. So,
Compared to
so
the
for
left hand.
example,
If they choose 165, 160, 150.
right, so look at the difference here between 166 and 150.
Right.
The taxes are 5,800 versus almost 6,000.
5,900. So
So that this difference is like 200-ish
200.
dollars, right? But that's not reflected over here. And that's what it should show.
Well.
So in other words, if I
You see
pick,
the
if I'm
increase here.
Board of
See
Selectmen,
this one, this one, this one, and this one. So it is 200. Is what she's showing
So-
you.
no, that's the difference here, 58 versus 55. That's where that number comes from.
Right.
This minus this equals that.
Right,
So it should be this minus this equals 286 plus another $200. So this should be like $400-ish, not 285. So what we're saying is if a
compare each
selection,
one of these columns, which is this year's suggestions,
yeah,
that they have an option to choose from.
yeah.
Or that
With-
we're recommending they choose from.
With
what
the
was
one,
actually
Just the
charged.
one, right? there.
Correct.
Okay,
And I think it should also go in the other direction. What happens if you pick 167, 168, blah, blah, blah? That will cause. You'll see here. So right now, if we stick with 166, we've got,
do the math from this one. So this one, you get this number.
yep. And that.
Do the math from this
here,
one to this one.
You
don't get that
you don't
number?
get that number, no.
Are you sure?
Yes,
No, I think you do.
that's.
I think
Almost $300.
It's
Well,
probably
these are, the difference between these,
47.
it's only $8 off, so it's hard to see.
Right,
here.
well, you added $8 here. 286, 287, we added, yeah.
But this one's different also. I could show you.
So in looking at this,
yes,
this is another year
I take
that the
Well,
tax rate goes down
5, 8.
by that,
296,
those cents. Okay,
5, 5, 3.
but the tax bill goes up because of increased value,
the value goes up,
that
the
number
tax
is
rate
this
goes down and
minus
vice
this
versa.
equals that.
based on the amount of money we have
That
to
we
raise.
raised, right, just
Exactly.
completing
Okay.
22.
Right. So what I'm saying is that I think what the Board of Selectmen is going to want to know is what's the actual difference in tax to the residents based on the different rates
Compared to 22,
compared to what we had
compared to
last
the new
year.
options,
Right.
the 4 options they've got there.
And
It's
I believe the
I
options
understand.
should go in the other direction as well. They should have the option to
I
push
could do
harder.
that when I go back, I will.
Right.
Because right now, this is saying,
Right, okay, so then if she.
this is
correct-
only giving options to lower the commercial rate. There is no option to raise the commercial rate on this chart.
Right,
But I can tell you historically, the Board of Selectmen has not wanted to raise the commercial rate because we don't.
No, I am
have
not,
much.
that's not our decision to make. I was saying that we should present them the option. That's-
Right, and I'm telling you what's happened historically. So, all right, so the bottom line is because of increased value, the rate drops, but there will still be an increase in taxes in each,
she's dollar amount,
exactly, yeah.
right, so I think the confusion that comes in as a taxpayer is a simple confusion. They say, well, if the rate went down, why did my taxes go up? It's because your value went up. So even a smaller percentage of a higher value, your dollar amount goes up.
Mhm.
Right? People don't
I-
understand that. They think the rate goes down, values go up, you end up paying more. I mean, that's really what the
And I-
reality of it, because that's just plain math.
And I've heard politicians state the rate is somehow a good thing, you know, it has nothing.
Yeah, so it's really, what it boils down to
I
is
fight this all the
$20
time.
million. Right? We need $20 million. Regardless, if values were half this year, what they were last year,
And we double the rate.
and you double the rate, you still got to get $20 million.
But if the properties were
Super high.
doubled in value,
You could still lower
half
the
the
rate.
rate.
You still lower the rate, but you're still getting 20 million.
still getting the same bill.
Exactly. So we're getting blood out of them, no, one way or the
Right.
other, right?
The,
You're paying
the amount that matters
is the
is, you
20
know,
million.
is the $5,817.62.
Right.
The average
The average
of what
household.
people are actually paying. That's the number people should pay attention to,
Right,
not the tax rate.
right. But it's too late to pay that attention to it now.
No, we'll have a meeting
Because-
tonight. We can bring that up.
You could bring that up, but you still got to raise 20 million bucks.
Yep.
Right? So the point is, you got to get it. I mean, otherwise, the other option is raise a commercial rate and don't do anything with residential. And you get your blood from commercial. Right?
Yep.
And what does that do to the commercial industry?
Yep.
They say, look, I'm not staying in Dayton. Do they leave Dayton? Historically, they haven't, because it's like, okay, well, we also need them to stay here and stay comfortable, right? So we start raising their rate and their values are up. A small percentage on them is a lot more dollars.
Well, they're already paying an additional $885.
Yeah.
Their numbers went from 8,900 to 9,800.
So
it's
each
almost-
household increase, Bill, back to your, the household increase here is basically $280-ish.
But I don't like this chart because it's comparing to numbers that never
No, I get it,
happened.
but it's about $280, $290.
But if they went with different rates, like if they went with the 1.5,
Right.
it would not be 285, it would be nearly $400. Over $400, $425.
Right. So that's just a clearer picture to them, so they can just see the increase, so that.
Yep.
That
We're
the,
gonna have to be very clear, make sure they understand. If this is in front of them, we have to.
if
make
this
sure
is
they
in front, of them, so
understand.
then we could even, if she can't get that chart done by tonight, we can do the math,
Work on
Yep.
it.
right? We can do the math and fill that in ourselves, so we're sitting with staff.
That's what I'm saying. We have to make sure that because I might for example, if I was a Board of Selectmen member, I would look at this chart and I'd say, well, if I pick the 1.5 rate,
It's only 285,
it's 285, the residential, it's less for residential.
right?
And the 798 is
I got you.
less for
Right.
commercial.
Yeah,
And they think, oh, that's the good. No,
Right, right.
it's not.
Okay. So does that make sense, Doug?
Yeah.
Right, so we could maybe just clear that up a little bit. Do you think that you can get that done by tonight, you think? So then we can
Yep.
actually have copies for us and copies for them.
Great.
And say, this is just a little clearer picture.
Or a handout.
That's all. Yeah, I think that's fine, if you can get that done.
But other than the wrong comparison here, I think this chart is excellent. I like.
Yeah, I think so. I think you did a nice job on that.
Bring extras, because we don't know if the public will be there. At 6 o'clock, my guess is there will be.
And
So-
you'll only need this.
Yeah.
You don't need anything else, right? Just that.
Right, this
So-
is already out in the packet. I think.
And the other complaint that I've heard, other than taxes are too high, the request has repeatedly been made to lower the rate on personal property for those who have large personal property bills. Okay, but again, it is what it is.
One thing I would like, well, let's talk about this presentation. I do have a question, but
Okay,
it
this
may
is
already
just
be answered here.
Paperclip. So you can.
Remove the paperclip and you
Yes.
can see the presentation.
Hmm.
Now, this clearly looks like PowerPoint slides. Are you going to do a PowerPoint?
I think Mike
Presentation.
Probably will.
Mike has this?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just leave it ourselves or?
Whatever you want to do. I've read it enough.
I mean, well, this is pretty
Looks like
standard format for what they do every year.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Mike basically explained it. And
Yeah, I think they'll-
of what we're
I think
deciding
we'll go
on
through
and
and
how it kind of works. So,
I think so.
yeah, and I think, so we'll be there with you. So if they have any specific questions for you,
Yeah, and I think.
Bill's got a good
the
grasp. on it.
Accountant's
I've got a
gonna
fairly decent grasp on
be
it.
here too.
What's that?
The town accountant, she's gonna be here.
Right. So I think
A lot of these
based on
come from-
what happened last year, I think one of the biggest misunderstandings was for the taxpayer, the basic taxpayer saying, why are you voting to increase my dollar amount tax? And back to what we were saying before. That train, as Nancy so eloquently said last year, that train had left the station. It's already been voted on the 20 million bucks.
This is folks.
Now's not the time, right? So now it's just the rate. So do we shift the burden? Where's the burden line? Residential?
Yeah.
Commercial, that's really what we're trying to balance.
I will gladly make my lecture of how this whole system works. If you
I
want.
don't think they want election tonight. I don't think it's his spot for election.
They've
And
got a very
I
long,
think-
it's like 3 pages long,
Yeah,
because they got a executive sessions
they
at the
do.
end.
They've got a long meeting. So I think, again, Bill, to that point, I think that starts before the budget is set, when people are looking at what the fire does and the police.
No, what I'm saying is that in order to answer the questions that Nancy was speaking of.
Yep.
You need to explain it to people. It's like, how does these things work? Why is my taxes going up? The bottom line is taxes going up because of things that were voted on at the last
Budgets,
town meeting.
budgets from all the departments.
Right.
That's really what it is.
However, one number I'm not seeing here is because I think what, in my opinion,
I should
is-
probably get you involved a lot earlier than the day it's due next time.
what I tend to think is under focused upon is the most important number, which is the total tax levy. So I see this here, $20,556,000.
Yeah.
What was
Our
last
levy.
year's? That's what I would like to see in this sort of thing, because I'm saying, because people are gonna ask, why are my taxes going up? Well,
Right.
because we're spending
Because the levy
X
went up.
more
Levy
dollars.
went
Right.
What was last year's levy?
What was last year's levy? That's the most
I
important.
think it was
number.
15 million last year, wasn't it?
Oh, no. It was close to 20.
I think it was still, I think it was 19.
19, that's. what-
19,995.
So.
When the
that's why
levy
the levy
goes
went up.
from
It's that, I
19
mean, that's a very simple answer, by the way. That's a
Yeah.
very short, succinct answer, like, why are my taxes going up? Levy went up.
Exactly, and I'd like to see it somehow be able,
That's fine.
be able to tell them,
Yeah.
this is what it was last year, this is what it is this year.
Mhm.
So I
The
think we
next-
could bring their attention to that rather than rewrite this whole thing
Correct.
on the day.
Yeah, I'm not
Say,
saying you're
listen,
right.
The most important figure here is that.
Right, at least if we have that information, the questions can be answered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Accurately.
So-
Correct.
Right, so I'd like to know that.
This is fine to get us through.
Oh, absolutely.
And then bring the attention to the 21 million.
Yeah, and then we-
19 million. And I'd like to know exactly what that number was, just so you can say, look, it went up by 2 million.
Fine.
But the other question I have, what I'm not seeing here, and it may come up, is that there was $600,000 that came back from the schools. Is that reflected in this?
No, because that was put into those special accounts.
I believe the Board of Selectmen specifically stated they were going to use it they were going to use half of it. Was a total, was six.
All right, so
That's a-
I've been
Board of
writing
Selectmen
notes to
question, I think.
myself. Yes, some of that, it was more than 600,000, I believe. It was a million.
I think it was
something,
1.2
And 600.
and 600 was going to
So-
offset. Yeah.
What I'm going to suggest is
Mhm.
on this page. It says total town budget. That means every single penny that is in the town budget, including the school district. It's part of the town budget. So let's say it's $35 million. All right. The next thing they should say is minus state aid, local receipts, and anything else they reduced the budget by to get to this levy. To get to the number of 20 million. In other words, if the budget is 35 million and we got 15 million
For the
from
school.
whatever,
Yeah.
no, forget the schools. All income or state aid, all right, that can be applied against this budget is 15 million.
I see.
That means we gotta raise
20
20,
million,
and that's
right.
where we are now,
Right.
we're going to set a tax rate to get to the 20. The reason I'm saying this is because back in the day, We had to do this at the regional district because number one, we had 2 towns that were affected by this. Back in the day, you take the gross school budget, everything you need to operate your schools. From that, you subtract chapter 70 state aid, miscellaneous income. When we had Berkeley tuition students, the regional agreement says you will deduct those tuition receipts. So you take that off. And then whatever, chapter 74, all of the money you got from somewhere, including if you rented facilities, all of the local revenue that you had, deduct it from that and you come up with a number. Okay, member towns, this is what we need in total, and we will allocate that according to the regional agreement. Okay, so in the town, if we know what is the absolute total budget that got approved, how much is that total being reduced by state aid and the money that we're talking about here, the 600, whatever, money, local receipts, money from any source has got to come back to this is what we need, 20 million and change. So if Mike could just add that in, because that will help people understand, hey,
This is
the
where it came from.
budget's 35 million,
But I just-
but we're not taxing
Total
you.
minus state aid.
All and local
equals
receipts,
our burden.
all income. Yeah, we're
Right?
down
Do I
to,
understand that correctly? So
we're
people
down-
can understand what we're talking about. So total minus state aid is what
and local
equals
receipts and
what
everything else.
the burden for the townspares,
Yes.
the town.
So I think Nancy's asking for a little bit more than what I was asking for, and that's good.
Well, it's really only two figures.
Covered.
Total
One.
minus state aid.
And this is easy to understand.
It's, yeah, but I really want to know if the $600,000 is in here or not, because I know that was a key goal of the selectmen is to make sure that the.
So
tax rate
another
got
thing
lower.
where this says, Stephanie, total town budget,
Mhm.
total,
State aid.
Local receipt.
total town budget. Minus state aid, local receipts, transfers. Because that money would have come into the town and would be through a
And that's
town
where the
meeting
600
vote, it's transferred,
600 being.
okay? So
Um,
the other thing is, another thing that transfers would be reflected. Let's say Tommy had a Miller's Lane project and he had $10,000 left. And they said, you're going to use that? And he said, no. Then we vote to close the account and we put that money into estimated receipts. So the other thing we want to know about minus state aid, local receipts, transfers,
Whatever gets minus.
miscellaneous
So-
income.
So hold on one second, though. Isn't this something the town accountant should really be?
Well,
She can probably help. Yeah, I'm sure she's.
I'm
got
sure
those
Mike will
numbers
get
for
it
us.
from her. She's
I
gonna
just
have
don't
the
think it's
numbers.
Stephanie's
Yeah.
job.
Oh, no, I just, when you talk to Mike and tell him what we discussed,
Mhm.
yeah, and she will have the numbers, because if you can get to the net, you had to know what the gross was.
We gotta realize too that the meeting's tonight, so if they have time to do those things, that'd be great. But.
It
I don't know
has
what
to
else
be
is
here, or you
available.
couldn't come up with what you need.
But
Well, the thing
I
is-
want to know specifically about the $600,000 because we're going to get asked that question.
Right. So that's why
That would be.
when
a
I
question.
say,
The
Board of Selectmen is going to ask us, does this include the $600,000 that? we-
That's an accountant
and
question.
the answer should be yes,
That's not an assessment.
when we reference the transfers.
Yes, it is, assessor, because it's going to determine the tax rate that we are recommending.
Right.
$600,000
That out from the accountant.
is a big
We
chunk
gotta
of
find
this.
that
You're
out from
talking,
accounting. Accounting knows that.
Yeah, but on a,
1/40.
on a $30 million budget is chicken feed, pennies.
Be nice to know if it's there, but the point is,
it's like
the
2%.
accountant has that information. We don't have that information in Stephanie's office. Accountant would have.
No,
it.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Since they already know we gotta raise 20, they had to know where we started and they
Correct.
had to know what came
Right.
off of it. So we're asking for 2 numbers. All we're saying is be
But what he's saying is
prepared.
inside the minuses, he wants to know if the 600 grand's there.
Exactly,
Because that's
because
the-
it would be a
Board of
transfer.
Selectmen has been focused on.
Right.
Right, yeah,
This
Yeah.
is what they're trying to do to keep the taxes down.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So that's why it's all available receipts or state aid. That's why, like I say, they already know it's 20 million and change. So they had to know what the gross was
And the minuses.
and they know what the minus was to get to where we are. So,
And now Bill wants an itemized, so
Yeah.
you can tell where the
So-
600 grand is.
okay,
yeah,
I think we,
I think, yeah, that's, I think.
yeah.
any other questions on, you hit PowerPoint here?
Nope.
No, let's move on.
All right.
Did you get those, what I
Do you have any-
wrote? Did you get
I
that?
wrote them down, yeah, but
No, I said, what's your giant pile?
this is executive session.
Okay,
down here.
so we're done with the new business, public input,
Any public input?
Is this-
No?
correspondence, affidavit of Jonathan
That's,
Stout.
that's not gonna be discussed. That's not something on the back burner. I just,
Okay,
Okay,
there's something litigation like, this is something we can't talk about.
okay, not
But-
openly.
but it's on the agenda.
I know, but that was after I found out it was something we weren't supposed to.
So we will review this in executive session? What are we saying?
What is?
That's the affidavit. That's the affidavit that we talked about, the,
Jonathan Stout regarding purchasing 0 Brook Street.
Oh, it's mentioned under correspondence. It should actually come up under, for discussion under, no, wait a minute. No. I can tell you what this is about.
Do we have the correspondence and are we going to talk about it? So
Do you have the
If
email?
we-
I have the
You have a copy of the,
thing.
Are we able to do an open meeting?
yes, because it's not gonna go anywhere, but I'll tell you
It's not
why.
going.
Eventually it'll go somewhere. So what that document is about. I was contacted by Ahmed Hafez regarding Brook Street, and that relates to Brook Street Solar.
Solo, okay.
Brook Street Solar, Grasshopper, is going to buy the adjacent land west of the solar field. It will belong to the company, Grasshopper. There were questions about taxes and all that, and what I said to them, we got it all ironed out. The land that they're going to buy, the whole piece, is in 61B, wild open
Right.
recreation, whatever.
Yep.
In order to install the batteries, the planning board has required a certain amount of distance, and the stormwater committee is involved in this. From the solar field to the woods. They're buying the land because the distance between the battery storage unit, which are at the back
Mhm.
on the west side, is too small.
Right.
So they're going to buy the property and they've got to clear a whole section of land and keep it open and clear as a fire break for the batteries, okay? One of the things we said was that, to Grasshopper, when you purchase that property, it will come out of 61B, the current owner, and be put into 61B, the company that's buying it. We need, and there will be a lien placed on it, correct?
Yep. 61.
What we also need from you is a affidavit stating clearly there will never be solar panels on that property
Just
and
batteries
nothing
only.
else will be done to it.
That's what that says.
Yep.
So first of all, this isn't enough. Because when I looked at it, I wrote back and said, it's going to need work. However, put that on hold. We can't do anything with that until you acquire the property.
Right.
And as last check, they hadn't acquired it yet.
I don't think so.
Okay, so I said, you gotta back up. You gotta back up further because you have been asked to have an engineer draw a plan of what you're gonna clear cut, because you're gonna clear cut in excess of 35,000 square feet. You're gonna need a stormwater permit for that piece of property because it's a different owner. So get all of that done first, and we will talk about this after. So it came in, and in the meantime, I and building, and I forgot what other department, received through the town clerk public records requests for everything related to the solar farms on Middle and Tremont. Because Grasshopper, I believe, is taking legal action against the town planning board because it's got something to do with how Middle and Tremont were treated, which has got nothing to do with us initially, and what's happened with Grasshopper. And it's all about the battery thing. But the last email that I got from Mike Mullen and then from Lenny, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen, was don't release any information without going through the planning board attorney. To which my response was, we have a deadline to meet. I'm combing through my emails to see if I got anything. I'm gonna put it on a drive and give it to the town clerk. I will have met my obligation. What will eventually happen is we will get involved with coming out of 61B, going into 61B. We'll be involved with the lien, and this affidavit will be reviewed by us and a few other boards in this town. So that's what it's all about. I don't know.
So we
the
just need
details
to
of the
put this
suit.
in the file.
Yeah.
Put it in the file.
And it'll eventually come up again, but
Okay, so we're not there yet. There's nothing to discuss.
I thought it was a simple request for
Second.
public records, and then all of a sudden I hear about all this other stuff, so
You know,
whatever.
I have some solar farm. Personal problem. They're clear cutting more land than the paper industry does in this country. You know that?
No, I did not know
Oh,
that.
yeah, it's so environmental, but so clean, but yeah, we're clear cutting hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of acres of land
Some
for solar.
You want to clear them for housing
And we've
developments?
got tons of open land where they could go already.
Not if the owners don't want them.
Now we gotta make them set way back from the street and we can't let them in a field that's already cleared that the farmer doesn't even use anymore. So that's where the houses go and
Really?
clear cut all the damn trees.
You can't put it in a field that's already there?
No, you can, but if it's gotta have setbacks and certain things, right?
Yeah,
So
but if you were a neighbor, you'd want those setbacks.
look, we're just tearing all mature trees down.
But the
Put
rest of
solar in.
it, but the rest of that is,
You don't have to.
when the solar farm ceases to
Didn't finish
exist,
them, there was too
they
much.
have got to
So I
restore.
retract that and
As
say
their,
it's
its
not-
original condition,
I'm
as it was when they started. No, that they're not gonna plant 30-foot trees, but they must restore the property, and if they don't, we pull the bond and we. So it's not
Worried
like,
about CO2, but we cut down everything that clears CO2.
Stephanie's got a busy day.
whatever.
Sorry, let's go.
I
No,
believe that there's nothing else.
I have
There is no minutes. Unanticipated items is next.
Unanticipated, I don't have any.
Then we need to go to executive session. You need to announce and we're gonna
Okay.
disconnect.
All right, so we're going to executive session now. And
We will not be.
we will not be recording.
Are the
this.
provisions cited in that?
The executive session under general law, chapter 30A, section 21A7 to comply or act under the authority of any special law or federal grant and aid requirements to review, discuss and act on fiscal year 2023 exemptions.
Okay.
So no,
Before you do that, did you make the statement at the beginning where audio and video recorded?
No, I don't.
I didn't.
Okay,
Nope.
make the statement now.
Well, this meeting is being audio and video recorded to be reproduced on YouTube.
Is it on the top of the agenda?
No.
I was actually gonna bring that sign out that's over there
Okay,
because I was looking at that, but
okay, going forward, it always should be there, all right? Even if for some reason we can't do it, we get it here and that's, doesn't work. That way it'll remind the chairman, read what it says at the top,
Yeah.
okay?
gotcha.
That
was my
Did you
fault.
make the motion to go into executive session?
I move that we go into executive session.
Then I'll second that.
Okay. Motion made and seconded.
Do you
All those in
have,
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
do you have to say you're gonna not come out,
Correct.
not return?
Oh, so we're also not returning to
Open
regular session,
session.
open session.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
So we got a 21st meeting.
Hey, I got a new t-shirt.
You get your.
Oh, I
Snoopy
still got
Christmas.
Still got the sticker on it.
Look at that.
Give me a Chance to remove the
Nancy, did you
sticker.
just get that?
No, as a matter of fact, I bought it about October. Because by the time Christmas comes, all the good stuff
That's
is gone.
gone, yeah.